What's up, guys? This is Miles here with Ascendo Sports, and this is probably my most ambitious video I've ever done. I'm going to be talking about what if LeBron went to college 1 year, and how would that look on Carmelo Anthony's and LeBron's career specifically. Now, there's a video very similar to this by Mike Krzimba. Now, he puts out great videos. I encourage you to go to watch this video, but he kind of goes over the entire league, and I'm going to be doing a focus in on just Carmelo and LeBron, and one other guy by the name of Dwight Howard, who's going to have a pretty big role because of this change. But I'm going to jump right in. Now, I'm not going to go over every draft, just the earlier ones, and then what really matters to Carmelo and LeBron. So, looking at the 2003 draft, Carmelo's going to go to Cleveland. He's going to end up winning Rookie of the Year. Dwayne Wade's still going to go to Miami. Denver is going to select Chris Bosh. So that's what we're planning on. And Chris Bosh going to Denver doesn't really matter. But Dwayne Wade going to Miami, of course, that will matter later on. So then going straight to next year, nothing significant happens. Carmelo wins Rookie of the Year. That's it. Now, LeBron is the number one prospect. Dwight Howard will be picked number 2 by Charlotte. And look where Cleveland's at. They had the 10th pick. Now look who got drafted 9th, Andre Iguodala. And just last year, we heard a pretty cool story that the Cavs wanted to draft Andre Iguodala in 2004. But you know what? They couldn't because they were 1 pick away. But now this year, LeBron's going to get picked first. They're going to get pushed back. They're going to end up getting Andre Iguodala. Now, trust me, this is going to have like major effects down the line because you have one of the best defensive small forwards teamed up with Carmelo. So now we're just going to go straight to what happened that season. The Spurs ended up winning the championship. Nothing changes. Steve Nash got MVP. Nothing changes. Now, Rookie of the Year, of course, is going to go to LeBron, not Okafor. And besides that, it's kind of a dead year for both Carmelo and LeBron, besides LeBron winning Rookie of the Year. Now, in the next year's draft, nothing major happens because Cleveland does not have a pick. Charlotte gets Raymond Felton. Good luck, Dwight Howard. Dwight Howard's going to kind of fizzle out here while he's in Charlotte, but trust me, he'll come back. So now to 2005-2006 season, Dwayne Wade's going to win his first championship. Miami wins it. Nothing's changing about that. MVP still Steve Nash. Rookie of the Year, Chris Paul. Nothing's changing about any of this in our scenario so far. Carmelo, Andre Iguodala, LeBron are all still developing. And now going to next year's draft, we're looking. These guys are still developing, so there's nothing much to look at. Next year, Cleveland was 1 pick away from getting Kyle Lowry. We're not going to change anything about that. Some of these theory videos, like 5 superstars end up on one team. I know, I could do that. That's not that fun. We're just going to say Kyle Lowry still goes to Memphis. Now we're going to this next season. We see Brandon Roy gets Rookie of the Year. The Spurs win the finals. MVP is Dirk. Now, we're going to talk about that in a few seconds. That's kind of ridiculous when I show you the stats. But still happy for Dirk. But now we're going to look. The Cavs went to the finals this year with LeBron originally. So now can they make it with Carmelo? They ended up going 50-32 and getting swept in the finals by the Spurs. So we're going to look at the stats and see, well, would they have made the finals again? Now, LeBron averaged 27.3 points. Shot decent from the three-point line, 32%. But now let's look at what Carmelo did. He ended up averaging 28.9 points, a whole point over LeBron. And he didn't shoot as good from the three-point line, but he still had a tremendous season. This was his first year as an All-Star. So I'll say they still make it with Andre Iguodala playing defense, still a young guy, athleticism. And we have Carmelo, who had a almost 29-point per game season. So Carmelo makes it to his first final, ends up getting swept by the Spurs. But hey, we're already better than how his career has been so far. Now we're looking at the MVP race. Dirk ended up winning. Now look at these stats. He averaged 24.6 points a game. Kobe averaged almost 32. LeBron averaged 27. Gilbert Arenas averaged 28. Carmelo averaged almost 29. And Carmelo had a .001% share. Are you kidding me? But all right, Dirk, we'll still give it to him. Okay, we're not changing that because they did not care about stats in that race. But now looking at this season, nothing's really going to change here. Cleveland isn't able to pick up a free agent. Boston still has the Big Four. They easily go to the finals, end up playing the MVP, Kobe Bryant. That's not going to change. And Rookie of the Year, Kevin Durant. Again, that's not going to change. This is all staying the same. The Big Four of KG, Paul Pierce, Rondo, and Ray Allen. with Tony Allen and Kendrick Perkins. They win the finals. Boston's happy. We go to next year. Now in this season, Los Angeles won the finals. LeBron was MVP. Rookie year was Derrick Rose. So let's go over what's going to happen with Cleveland in this scenario. Last year they weren't able to get a free agent, so now again they're trying to chase somebody, and a good name I saw was Baron Davis. I thought, okay, what was he doing? But first out, look at this. Baron Davis, Paul Davis, Ricky Davis, all signed with the Clippers. That's just crazy fact, right? But now back to the point. Baron Davis, all-star level player, he ended up going to the Clippers, who did not have a roster even close to winning the finals. So I don't think he was really interested at all in competing for a championship. He went 1963. In the playoffs this year, we had the Magic face the Lakers. And this is not going to change in this scenario. Remember, LeBron is on the Magic. So are you trying to tell me that Dwight Howard at this point was more valuable than LeBron? Heck no. Okay, yeah, I'm not buying that. That's wrong. So we're having this team. Nobody was really an all-star besides Dwight Howard on this team. They were all like just great, maybe perennial all-stars, very low level, but great role players. Carmelo, he did not make the all-star game this year. It's like the only year in a massive 10-year, 11-year stretch that he didn't make it. So the Magic will go to the finals. They'll end up losing to Kobe, but everybody gets to see the finals matchup that everybody always wanted, LeBron and Kobe. Now Kobe would easily win it, and now we're going to go off to our NBA draft, which has big ramifications for the future. Now Magic will have the first seed. We're going to end up putting Cavs in the third seed. They still weren't able to pick up a free agent. Lakers will again be first in the West. So now instead of Cleveland having the 30th pick, they're going to have, count up, 1, 2, 3, the 27th pick. They're going to grab DeMarre Carroll, which is going to be a big addition. Now remember how they got this was because they had the 4th best overall record in the league behind the Magic, the Lakers, the Celtics, and then the Cavs. So, and they also end up getting Danny Green from UNC in the second round, which is a massive pickup down the line. He's somebody that can play defense and shoot the ball very well. So now we're going on to 2009-2010 season. The Lakers won the finals this year. LeBron was MVP. Rookie of the year was Tyreke Evans. Now this is going to be a year where we see a lot of change going on with what happens in history. So starting out with the man Carmelo, averaged 28.2 points. Amazing year, played 69 games, shot 46% from the field. He's going to be MVP this year. Now looking at the Cavs this year, they had Mo Williams, Antoine Jamison, and Shaq. Big additions, and all of those are still going to happen. Now just quickly going over how they acquire all those players. A 3-team trade. They end up trading a bunch of pretty much nobodies in this scenario. Sorry to be blunt. They grab Mo Williams. And then they also trade for Shaq. Ben Wallace was on the end of his career. Nothing really good happened at this point or after. Then also Antoine Jamison. They end up acquiring him. Now he has almost just as big an impact as Shaq in these next 2 to 3 years with the team. So when we look at his stats this season, he averaged 20.5 points when he was playing for the Wizards and 15.8 when he was playing for the Cavs. So he's a big addition that can score. Now Iguodala, he also has a pretty good year this year. He played all 82 games in 2009, averaging 17.1 points. Should have been an all-star. I mean, that's crazy that he wasn't an all-star. So the Cavs are pretty loaded this year. Originally, the Lakers and Celtics met, and they played a best-of-7 series. Probably Kobe's most legendary series ever. He ended up winning 4-3, Finals MVP, but that's not going to happen this year because the Cavs have a stacked roster of Mo Williams, Antoine Jamison, Carmelo, Andre Iguodala, and Shaq with Danny Green, DeMarre Carroll coming off the bench. So now we're going to see another 7-game series, I will predict, where the Cavs are going to take it. Carmelo's going to get his first ring. We're going to get to see an epic Shaq versus Kobe reunion in the finals. Might be just as good as the Boston Celtics finals. So now going on to the next year. The Mavericks originally won the finals. The MVP was Derrick Rose, and Rookie of the Year was Blake Griffin. Okay, so some things are definitely going to change this year too. But this was also a big year because originally LeBron left Cleveland. And in this scenario, LeBron is going to leave Orlando, and Chris Bosh, remember he's in Denver just kind of being good. Well, you know what? He's also going to come join Miami. I find it very reasonable that that could happen. They're both still friends with Dwayne Wade. Okay, that relationship is still there. So they're going to make a big three in Miami. But guess what? There's still a problem. In Cleveland, they're still stacked. They didn't lose anybody. These guys just won the finals. There's no reason for them to separate. Shaq, of course, he's a superstar. He wants to get as many rings as possible. No reason for him to retire after he just beat Kobe in the finals with Carmelo and Iguodala in their prime. So they're going to go play Dirk. And guess what? Melo is now going to win his second ring. 2-1 in the finals now. So this scenario is making it look really good for him. But trust me, he will have some low points later on. Now in 2011, 2012, Miami and the Big Three won the championship. But might see a little bit of a different story this year. And first thing we need to address is what happened with Shaq. Now Shaq originally retired after last year. But of course he won the finals, so he's not going to retire. So he's going to stay one more year. And definitely when we're looking at his accolades, he just won 2 championships with Cleveland. So now he has 6 in total because he had 4 before he came to Cleveland. So one more away from surpassing Jordan. He's a superstar. He's definitely going to want to stay that one extra year with Carmelo and Iguodala in their prime. Iguodala, this was his only year where he was an all-star in his entire career. He only averaged 12 points. Very defensive all-star choice. And now we're looking at Carmelo. He was again an all-star this year, averaged 23 points almost. Not an incredible year for him, but good enough. And now to another player, Antoine Jamison. Now remember, LeBron wasn't originally there, so these numbers are probably a little inflated. He was really the only good player on that team. 17.2 points per game, shooting 40%. And Danny Green, he also becomes more active this year. Played in 66 games and shot 43% from the three-point line. So I have the Cavs going to the finals and beating Kawhi with Carmelo and Iguodala both in their prime this year. So now we need to look back at the draft. Now originally, again, the Cavs were terrible because they didn't have LeBron. But remember, they kept everybody. Everybody's together. They're going to end up getting the first seed, even surpassing Chicago with Iguodala's all-star defense selection and Carmelo averaging 23. Still have a lot of vets on this team helping. And now we're looking at the draft. You know who was the last pick in the draft? Jimmy Butler, okay? And definitely for a team that's about to lose Antoine Jamison, Jimmy Butler would be a great role to fill in his retirement. They're looking at it like that he has some potential. He can back up DeMarre Carroll. So we're going to end up drafting him. You know, he might turn into something who was just a defensive player in college. Now this year, the Cavs are going to lose both Shaq and Antoine Jamison. They're going to retire. Mo Williams, his production is going to drop. So the Cavs aren't going to be as good this year. So they're going to try to pick up a free agent. DeMarre Carroll, Danny Green, Jimmy Butler, they're all very young. So Ray Allen, you know what? You know what he did? He left Boston and went to Miami. And I believe that in this scenario, if he's actually trying to win a ring, we're seeing 2 starters retire off this team. He's definitely going to come to Cleveland. But not all hope is lost for LeBron because Lou Williams was also a free agent this offseason. That was garnering a lot of attention because of his scoring and energy off the bench. So I believe that instead of going to Atlanta, where he originally went to, he would end up signing with Miami and joining Dwayne Wade, Chris Bosh, and of course the King down in South Beach. Now Lou Williams this season for Atlanta, he averaged 14.1 points a game, shooting 37% for the three-point line. Pretty good season. Now looking over back at the Cavs, Carmelo. This season, he averaged 28.7 points per game, played 67 points, won a scoring title, and in this scenario, he wins the MVP award, okay? So he's going to win his first MVP, but now they just don't have enough to keep up with LeBron. LeBron really needs the finals. He's trying to chase this ghost of Michael Jordan, and he doesn't even have a ring yet, and he's starting to get a lot of age on him to not even have a ring. So he's going to make a push with Dwayne Wade, and he's going to make the finals and beat Kawhi Leonard, Tim Duncan, and the Spurs, winning his first finals, and at this point he has 3 MVPs to his name. So now we're to the 2013-2014 NBA season. And the Cavs are currently panicking because they had the defending reigning MVP, but they were not able to make it to the finals. They know that Miami is too much to beat right now with the Big Three and Lou Williams in that lineup. So they're going to be looking to retain Ray Allen and sign another star to replace what Jamison did and Shaq. So they're going to re-sign Ray Allen. He originally re-signed to the Heat. In this scenario, we're going to give the Cavs benefit of the doubt. He re-signs with them. DeMarre Carroll, he originally re-signed with the Hawks. We're going to give the Cavs benefit of the doubt. He's going to re-sign with them. And then there was another big free agent, Dwight Howard, who wanted a fresh start with a team, went to the Rockets. It says 4 years. He only stayed there 3 years with the Rockets, so we're going to give him 3 years with the Cavs. Now, this season, he was an all-star. This was actually the last season he was an all-star in. He played with James Harden. They did pretty decent together. Carmelo Anthony also averaged 27.4 points a game. Had a tremendous season. He will get MVP again, so now he's a back-to-back MVP. Originally, Miami went to the finals, lost 4-1 to the Spurs. In this scenario, that's not going to happen because both Ray Allen and Dwight Howard are on the Cavs with Carmelo Iguodala. We're also seeing DeMarre Carroll and Danny Green have a pretty big impact on this team. So the Cavs will end up making it, and Carmelo is going to win his 4th finals, and now he has 2 MVPs the last 2 seasons. But here we're going to kind of see a little downfall. Spoilers. So in the 2014-2015 season, Golden State won the title. We saw Stephen Curry win MVP, but another big thing happened. LeBron went home to Cleveland. That's not going to happen this year. He's going to stay in Miami. There's no room for him on Cleveland, and there's no reason for him to go join the defending champion. And we're looking at free agency. There's nobody really available. So Carmelo ends up getting hurt this year and only plays 40 games, which tremendously hurts the Cavs. Their superstar, legendary Hall of Famer is now out. Andre Iguodala, he played for the Warriors this year, but he's still on the Cavs. He's not leaving the Cavs in this scenario. He also didn't play as many minutes, but had a pretty depressing year offensively. Now, Jimmy Butler did end up being an all-star this year. Now, in this scenario, he's not going to be an all-star, but he is going to improve a lot because Carmelo's injury, get a lot of playing time. And then we're looking at it. Dwight Howard also kind of fell off a little bit this year. Did not get an all-star selection. He's not going to get an all-star selection in this scenario either. So we're looking, Carmelo was the only all-star, and he was hurt. So now we're going to the playoffs. Originally, the Cavs made it with LeBron, but now LeBron's going to make it with the Heat. But some big problems that came up this season were injuries on Miami. But Lou Williams, he's healthy. Chris Bosh is not healthy. So just to look at this right quick, this is a chart showing the final games of this season. We see that Dwayne Wade missed a lot of games, but he still came back, and this is Chris Bosh. He missed the end of the season. But LeBron's going to end up winning this series. He almost won it by himself without Kevin Love and Kyrie. So with a healthy Dwayne Wade and Lou Williams, he's going to win this. Now he's 2-1 in the finals. So this year, another big year. 2015-2016. Now, a key factor here is Harrison Barnes is going to stay with Golden State. They just lost the finals, so he's going to stay there. Also, Andre Iguodala is not there. They're going to have a bigger urgency to resign him and give him a little bit more money than he actually deserves. So Golden State is still stacked. Now, this is Carmelo's stats. He ends up having a pretty good comeback year from the injury, playing 72 games, averaging 22 points per game. Really good year for him. Dwight Howard also didn't play terrible this year, averaging 13 points, 12 rebounds, just good enough to have a positive impact on the game. Andre Iguodala, again, he's aging at this point, 32 years old, but still can play good defense, give you good minutes, go in and out the starting rotation, very unselfish. And then Jimmy Butler, this is going to be his first year where he's an all-star, averages 21 points per game, and shoots the ball very well, 83% from the free throw line. And then DeMarre Carroll also had a really good year this year, averaging 11 points per game, shooting 39% from the three-point line. Very good year all around for the Cavs. And so originally in the playoffs, we know the Cavs made it with Kyrie, LeBron, and Love. With all three of them healthy, they ended up winning in a 7-game series in Oracle final game. Probably the best finals that we've seen in maybe a decade or so. Very good, very competitive. But in this scenario, Carmelo is going to lose. He doesn't have enough around him. Dwight Howard and Andre Iguodala, they've really dropped off on their athleticism. And Jimmy Butler, he's a very young all-star. And Mo Williams, he's pretty much out of the equation now. So they just they don't have enough pieces to keep up with this star power Golden State team. So now we're going to the 2016-2017 season where Golden State originally won Russell Westbrook got MVP. Kevin Durant went to Golden State. So a lot's going to change this year. But first off, LeBron's a free agent right now. Originally in this year, he was a free agent. Now, of course, he ended up staying with Cleveland. But this scenario, he's with Miami, and he's not going to stay in Miami. Okay, he knows if he needs to catch Michael Jordan, or if he wants to catch Michael Jordan, he has to go somewhere. But first, addressing Kevin Durant, he still blew the lead in the Western Conference Finals, so he's still going to go to Golden State. I don't think there's that much to discuss about, even though they won. But LeBron, I have him going to Cleveland. He wants to return home. He needs to win a finals. He sees that Cleveland has enough talent. Now, again, Dwight Howard is not there anymore. It was a 3-year deal. He is gone. They didn't want to re-sign him. Now, Jimmy Butler this year was an all-star, averaging 24 points per game. Amazing year for him. Probably the best year of his career. Carmelo, still an all-star this year, averaged 22 points per game. Shooting decent, 36% from the three-point line. And then again, LeBron, this was his incredible year. 37.8 minutes per game, averaging 26 points per game. Now, originally, the Cavs went to the playoffs and lost. But now they have Carmelo and Jimmy Butler and an older Andre Iguodala. They have enough to get by, without a doubt. So we will see Carmelo 5-2 in the finals and LeBron 3-1. Now, the Cavs really don't need to make any moves this year because they have the greatest player in the world, Carmelo Anthony, as he will be viewed right now. He will be viewed as the greatest player in the world. But actually, we know this season that LeBron James was definitely the greatest player in the world. But Carmelo, he was in OKC last year in our timeline. But in this timeline, he's still in Cleveland. He also gets an all-star selection this year. He never falls off like this. Jimmy Butler also is an all-star this year, averaging 22 points per game. And, of course, LeBron this season did something that we thought he'd never be able to do. Played all 82 games, averaging 27.5 points per game. Ridiculous. So, the Cavs have a lot of talent here still. No reason to be worried. They didn't pursue any free agents. Didn't have any cap room for any free agents. And then also, DeMar Carroll averages 13.5 points per game this season, shooting 37% from the three-point line. Now, remember this season, which was last year, Jimmy Butler went out with an injury, but he ended up coming back for the playoffs for Minnesota, so he's going to come back and play through the entire playoffs with the Cavs. And they will again beat the Warriors in the finals. There's too much talent on that team right now. LeBron has two other All-Stars to work with Carmelo and Jimmy Butler. LeBron will be 4-1 in the finals with 3 MVPs, finishing up this scenario. And Carmelo will be 6-2 in the finals with 2 MVPs in this scenario. So, I know that's a lot to digest. There's a lot of assumptions here. Probably my biggest assumption is that Cleveland is actually, they're not idiots, that they just make decent choices. I didn't have them make any killer trades. You know, I didn't do any 5-way trades like some teams, or not some teams, like some videos will show you. I pretty much just followed exactly how I thought the earlier drafts would go. I feel like the Andre Iguodala joining them is a no-brainer. They said they wanted him. If LeBron was in that draft, he would have been pushed back one spot most likely. So I don't see, I didn't really go off the rails as a lot of people do. So thanks for watching this video. It's very long. I hope I don't get copyright strike. Goodness gracious, it took me forever to make this. But thanks for watching. Let me know what you think. I'm a huge Carmelo fan. I love Carmelo, my favorite player. So I'm really excited to make this video, and I hope you guys enjoy it. Thanks for watching.